This week's sponsor is Fireball. When you need energy, create a fireball.
Welcome to this week's show of Mano y Mano. I'm Jason, aka J-Ro.
Nick, Wolfman.
We're doing the fight predictions for UFC 143, Saturday, February 4th, 7 p.m.
Mandalay Bay Event Center, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Basically, we told you guys we're going to do a giveaway.
Yes, sir.
So what we're going to do this week, we're going to actually give away a signed picture of Frank Mir. That's his real signature.
Yes, we got pictures to prove it.
Pictures to prove it. So basically, how we're going to do this, you watch our prediction show. In the comments section, we want you to actually put who you think's going to win.
Yes.
And how are they going to win. So, for example, if Carlos Condit, you think is going to win the fight by knockout, you say Carlos Condit by knockout, and then we'll basically get points from there.
And round. And say what round.
Yes. And we'll just kind of judge the points from there, and the person who has the most points gets the picture.
Yes, we will contact you.
A lot of fights on the card.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to it.
Let's dive into it.
First fight on the card, 185 pounds. We have Rafael Sapo Natal
versus Michael Judo Cooper.
Judo. Basically, Sapo, he's coming off a win versus Bradley. All-around guy. Wrestling, jits, you name it. Good fighter.
Cooper, debut, 11-0. Obviously, his nickname says it itself. Judo fighter. But he also has stand-up. Majority of his wins are off TKOs and KOs. What do you got?
I'm going with Judo.
I'm going with Judo too. I think it makes it 12-0.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a name like Judo and not be good on
That's
your feet.
true.
You know.
Very true.
Next fight on the card.
Let's do it.
170 pounds.
Welterweight.
We have Dan, the Anvil. How do you say it? Stiggin?
Stegen.
It's close.
Versus Steven, the Wonder Boy Thompson.
A little bit about the Anvil. It's his debut in UFC. 3-fight win streak. Submissions.
Wonder Boy, 5-0. Debut as well. All-around fighter.
Who you rolling with?
Wonder Boy.
I can't pick somebody named Wonder Boy.
I have to. I'm wearing a superhero T-shirt, so I have to.
I'm going with the Anvil. Just submissions. I think he's able to take the guy down and submit the Wonder Boy. Next fight on the card, contested 170 pounds.
Another welterweight.
We have Matt the Immortal Brown
versus Chris C-Murder Cope.
A little bit about the Immortal. He's coming off a loss versus Seth Baczynski.
Yeah, Baczynski.
Matt's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde fighter. You know,
shows up when he wants to.
Decent on the ground, decent stand-up. I mean, man.
C-Murder. He's a stand-up fighter coming off a loss against Che Mills. Also, he's from Ultimate Fighter fame. We used to go, woo, all the time.
I hated that,
Yeah, that was very, very annoying. But...
You know who his brother is, by the way.
Yeah, Kid Cope.
Kid Cope. But who you rolling with?
Going with Brown.
I'm going with the Immortal as well. Next fight on the card, 135 pounds. We have Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres
versus Edwin Alfaraz Figueroa.
A little bit about Bruce Leroy. He's coming off a win versus Escovedo. He is an unorthodox fighter.
Yes.
I mean, to say the least.
Alfaraz, Muay Thai. Boom, boom. Last fight, he won it through technical strikes, I guess you can say, because his clinch was sick. It was against Reinhardt. And who do you got?
This is a tough battle, actually.
It is.
It's going to be, I mean, because Alfaraz is a Muay Thai guy.
Yeah.
I think this fight stays standing.
It needs to. It would be a great fight if it did.
I'm going to go with Alfaraz.
I'm going with Figueroa as well.
Next fight on the card.
Here we go.
170 pounds. We have Matthew Monster Mash Riddle
versus Jorge Lil Monster Lopez.
A little bit about Riddle. 2-fight losing streak. He was supposed to fight a couple cards ago.
Yeah, I want to say 2 fight cards ago.
Yeah, we actually saw him after the weigh-ins. He looked like he was in good shape and stuff like that, but he got real sick the next morning, sick enough to where the doctor wouldn't allow him to fight.
Yes.
So I don't know if it had to do with the weight cut. I'm not quite sure, but Matthew Riddle, very cool guy. He needs to win this fight. All-around fighter.
Anyways, a little about Jorge. He's coming off a loss. He's stand-up fighter. He doesn't have his back against the rope kind of like Riddle does with the 2-fight losing streak, so I think he'll still be alright. I think he loses his fight though.
I agree. I think Monster Mash wins this fight.
Yeah. That's if he gets cleared this time, medically cleared.
Yeah, hope he does. Too.
Yeah.
Next fight, being contested at 145 pounds. We have Dustin the Diamond Poirier
versus Max Little Evil Holloway.
A little bit about the Diamond. He's got a 4-fight win streak. All-around fighter. He'll basically take the fight wherever you want to go.
So, about Little Evil now. 4-0, making his debut, all-around fighter. Once again, 145ers.
Who are you rolling with?
I'm going with the Diamond.
I agree. I think the Diamond makes it 5
Yes,
five
sir.
wins in a row. Next fight on the card, being contested at 185 pounds. We have Ed Short Fuse Herman
versus Clifford Starks.
Little bit about Ed. You know, he's got a 2-fight win streak. Ground and pound, good on the ground. I mean, we all know him from the Ultimate Fighter. Great fight at the finale versus Kendall Grove. Ed Herman, good fighter, man.
Yeah, Clifford Starks, 8-0, all-around fighter.
Who are you rolling with?
I'm going with Short Fuse.
I think Short Fuse wins it as well. He always comes in good condition. Hope he doesn't get caught or anything, but I think he's the more skilled fighter here.
Yeah.
Next fight on the card, being contested at 135 pounds. We have Renan Barao
versus Scott Young Guns Jorgensen.
A little bit about Barao. He's got a win, coming off win versus Pickett. He's an all-around guy. He's got a phenomenal record. Basically, his first and only loss is his first fight.
Yeah.
So he's got a phenomenal win streak.
He's like 27 or 29-0. Or 27, 29.
One site says 27. The UFC site says 29 and 1. So either
ridiculous.
way.
It's ridiculous regardless. Anyways, Young Guns coming off a win against Pat Curran, which was a great fight for him. He dominated the fight. I think he did at least. He's an all-around fighter. He has a sick guillotine. It's wicked.
Yes, Scott Jorgensen's a good fighter. You know, he comes in with the pink hair and stuff like that. He's got the little pigment issues, but very cool guy.
Yes.
He actually, we had the pleasure of meeting him. He trained out here at Tap Out.
Mm-hmm.
But these are small guys, 135 pounds. Who are you rolling
Like
with?
little micro machines.
Yeah.
Scott Jorgensen. I think he wins this fight.
That's a tough fight. I think Barao wins this fight. Sorry, Scott. But I think he keeps that win streak going. This fight's going to be a pace like no other, though.
Oh, yeah.
These little guys are going to go at it. So we disagree. On to the main card. We have Josh Koscheck versus
Mike Pierce.
this fight's contested at 170 pounds.
Welterweight.
Koscheck coming off a killer knockout versus Hughes, a win. And you know Koscheck, he basically was a wrestler. His stand-up's looking real good now. Very, very good fighter. Good camp, a.k.a.
Pierce coming off a win against Bradley. He's an all-around fighter. But I think he lacks the experience against going against a better fighter. So that's why I'm picking Koscheck. I think he wins.
Pierce actually asked for this fight. He wanted this fight for a while. He thinks he's ready for it. I don't think so. Koscheck, if he wants to take you down, he's going to take you down.
Yeah, his wrestling is ridiculous.
Except for GSP. He looked real bad against GSP. But then again, who hasn't looked bad against GSP? We're both going with Koscheck here, right?
Yes, Koss wins this fight.
Nice. Next fight on the card, co-main event. We got Roy Big Country Nelson
versus Fabricio Verdum.
We all know this is at heavyweight.
Yes, big boys.
Roy Nelson got a big win against Crow Cop.
Yep.
He needed that win because he looked bad, real bad against Mir.
Yes, horrible.
How's Roy's cardio going to be?
We'll find out.
You know, that's a big issue here.
We'll find out. Verdum coming off a loss against Uberim.
The next UFC champion.
Yes. He looked absolutely horrible in that fight. He was on the ground begging Overeem to come down to the ground with him, which really, his jiu-jitsu is ridiculous. Why would you go on the, like, seriously? Like, it's crazy.
But he's back in UFC.
Second time, yes.
Let's see what he does.
Hopefully he steps his game up.
Yes. Who are you rolling with?
I think Verdum wins this fight.
I agree. I think it's going to stay standing the whole time. But I think Verdum does enough to win this fight.
Yes.
On to the main
Here
event.
we go.
We have Nick Diaz.
Versus Carlos, the natural-born killer, Condit.
Contested at 170 pounds for the interim title, whatever that means.
GSP's hurt.
But anyways, this is a huge matchup. You know, a little bit about Nick. He's coming off a win versus BJ. Looked phenomenal that fight.
Yes, he did.
It sucked to see the amount of punishment he put on BJ. Nick's coming off a 11 fight win streak.
Once it is.
Oh gosh, his boxing. He's one of the best offensive boxers in the UFC. He can work on his defense. He's got some holes in his game, but he's an all-around guy. His jits are absolutely sick from Cesar Gracie's camp. You know, he's got a phenomenal camp.
Condit, natural-born killer, 4-fight win streak. Last fight was against Dong Young Kim.
Sick knee.
Flying knee, put homeboy in a daze, and then he just put him to rest. Just
First person to stop the stun gun as well.
Yes, it was a wicked finish. He's an all-around fighter, and I'm telling you, the last couple, in his 4 fights that he's won, he's been getting better and better and better. It is ridiculous.
And with Condit too, you know, he was a WEC champion at 170 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's good off his back. Comes from Greg Jackson's camp.
Yep.
Actually left for a little bit when GSP went over there. Made the best decision he can ever make by going back.
Yes.
He had to adjust to the UFC. I mean, he came to the UFC and didn't really meet the expectations.
Started out slow.
He is now, and he is a dangerous, dangerous fighter.
That's why they call him a natural-born killer.
Who are you rolling with?
I see him beating GSP as well. Carlos Condit.
Nick Diaz, he's going to put a relentless pressure on Condit. Condit is going to do the same thing. I think they're going to stand and bang, to be honest with you.
Could be fight of the night.
Nick Diaz has a lot of holes in his game defensively. Standing up, that is.
Yeah.
I think Condit wins this fight. I can't wait to see him go against GSP. So hopefully that happens. So we're both picking Condit.
Natural-born killer, yes.
So basically, to recap, comment section, leave who you want to win, how they win, and what round. And again, we'll give a signed Frank Mir picture to the winner.
Yes.
We'll contact you, and so on. These fights, UFC 143, Saturday, February 4th, 7 p.m.
Mandalay Bay Event Center, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's pretty much it.
Yes, sir.
I'm J-Ro, a.k.a. Jason, a.k.a. J-Ro, sorry.
Nick Wolfman, signing out.
Mano y mano.